Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested. Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
The 24-year-old Texas resident Cory Brannan worked as a sheriff's deputy and a jailer at a sheriff's office. And as the prosecutors pointed out in their sentencing memo, quote, Brannan's duties included, with undeniable irony, quelling prison riots. On January 6th, though, Brannan was seen in photos and on video at the Capitol. He was wearing a Trump 2020 hat and a tactical vest containing a 3%ers patch. He had goggles around his neck and he had a pair of scissors tucked into the front of his vest. And Brannan was seen on surveillance video entering the Capitol through a broken window. This was just 2 minutes after the initial breach of nearby doors, although the video shows that Brannan exited within minutes of entering. On September 9th of last year, the FBI interviewed Brannan, and he really tried to BS them at first. Brannan admitted going to the Capitol with two other people, but he said, I can't remember their last names. However, they confiscated and checked his phone, and they found that he had contacted these people numerous times and other members of the mob. So he knew them well enough to call them. And Brannan also claimed that he couldn't remember how he got into the Capitol. And then he used an excuse straight out of a teenager's playbook. He told the agents that the tactical vest that he was wearing belonged to one of the guys that he rode with to DC, and that he was, quote, carrying it for him. So the old, I'm carrying it for a friend excuse. I also want to point out that Brannan was seen in photos with other January 6 defendants, one of which was taken at night, and Brannan was flashing a white supremacist hand gesture. And he was standing next to one of his travel companions at the time when that photo was taken, Tony Martinez. You have to wonder if these fools even know what they're doing, or if they're just like monkey see, monkey do. Anyway, Brannan was arrested on September 2nd of last year, and he was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading in a Capitol. In June of this year, Brannan pleaded guilty to the parading charge, and he was looking at up to 6 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 30 days behind bars, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and a $500 restitution fee. While the prosecutor admitted that Brannan didn't post on social media and he didn't commit any acts of violence, he did enter the building illegally, and he was dressed for battle. They also noted that Brannan, as a former law enforcement member especially in charge of stopping riots, should have known better than most that what he was doing was wrong. Brannan's attorney, however, argued for probation only, and his attorney said that Brannan had already lost his sheriff's job as a result of January 6th, and that his new employer, quote, informed him that he will be terminated if he is incarcerated. Apparently, he got a new job as a dispatcher. And as I've said before, I really want to give Brannan credit for embracing socialism. He used a public defender in this case. So I applaud him. I applaud him for being a crazy socialist who wants to use all of our tax dollars to help everyone instead of corporations. But I digress. So I couldn't find any details about what took place at the sentencing hearing, but Brannan had one of the toughest January 6 judges, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan. She gave the prosecutor almost everything that they asked for. Judge Chutkan sentenced Brannan to 30 days in jail, 24 months of probation, 60 hours of community service, and a $500 restitution fee. As you guys all know by now, I think 60 to 90 days should be the floor for nonviolent January 6 defendants, with rare exception. And I'd also like to see their probation extended through the next presidential election. However, when you compare it to judges like McFadden, I'll take it. That's where we're at now. but this is as good as it's going to get. So if I hear more about this guy, I will let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.